I was hoping somebody would ask about my other shirt.
Yeah, what's your other shirt?
It's in the laundry.
There you go. It's in the laundry. Okay. So yeah. This weekend, after exhausting ourselves at the Ren Fair, Noodle and I, and also Mr. Wonder, watched a movie called Moonfall, and boy howdy, is it a movie that exists. All right, so I'm gonna give y'all some information about this movie, and Noodle, feel free to chime in at any point if you have any insight or funny ha-has. So, let's give you a quick, yes, Roland Emmerich still makes these. Here's a quick summary of the production of Moonfall, because I need you to understand what went into the making of this movie before we can actually get into this dumpster fire. So Moonfall, if you don't know what it is a sci-fi disaster film written, directed, and produced by Roland Emmerich. Roland Emmerich also did Independence Day 1 and 2, The Day After Tomorrow, and 2012. So that gives you kind of what you're looking at here. Who is this? It's got a pretty decent cast. Halle Berry, Patrick Wilson, John Bradley, Michael Pena, Donald Sutherland for all of less than 5 minutes. He is the disaster man, yeah. It's loosely based off of a book called Who Built the Moon, which debated about the hollow moon hypothesis, which is a conspiracy theory about the moon being an artificial construction. So that's what, yeah, nothing but grade A bangers from Roland Emmerich. So that's what we're basing this off of, and I'll get into the summary of the actual plot later. So this project, Roland Emmerich wrote it and then sold it to Universal Pictures, and then they just didn't want to make it. So he got the rights back. And when he did that, he and his partner, Harold Closer, went to the Cannes Film Festival to get financial backers. So with the independent nature of this film, it helped Emmerich get full creative control and a 50% share of the film. I want you to let that sink in. This man had full creative control over this terrible fucking movie. Sorry I'm late. Had to see if my gamble paid off on Granny's channel. I don't know what that means, but welcome, Sparkle. We're talking about a terrible movie. Roland Emmerich got creative control and a 50% share of the film. This movie cost $150 million to make. It is one of the most expensive independent films ever produced, and it made a whopping $55 million at the box office, and that's international. It made a little over a third of what they paid for it, and that's not good. That's not good. So, here's part of why this movie sucks.
The entire first third.
Yes. So, as far as the cast goes, Josh Gad and Stanley Tucci were originally cast in the movie, but John Bradley replaced Josh Gad due to scheduling conflicts, and Michael Pena replaced Stanley Tucci. I don't know if you know these two actors, but they are completely different. Entirely. I don't understand that. Either way, Stanley Tucci he was prevented from traveling to the production because of COVID-19 travel restrictions. So, the pandemic really fucked this movie. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the film had to speed up its principal photography. Speeding up principal photography, that is never a good idea. You are just like throwing shit out the window. We can't do 20 takes anymore. Fuck it, this one's fine. So they had to speed up the principal photography, spend an additional $5.6 million, and among the pandemic's restrictions were a lack of location shooting, forcing the construction of 135 different sets built primarily on 6 stages. So they couldn't location shoot, which means they had to build a bunch of not great sets because they had to speed up production. And do a lot of green screen work, and when I tell you this green screen work is not good, but we'll get to that. So that is part of why this movie sucks. All right.
Part.
So let's get into, I feel for the production crew too. I want to make a point of saying here, I am not shitting on any singular person who went into creating this movie. I fully understand that they got fucked over. Squishing the production schedule down, spending the budget on God knows what, and having all of these restrictions is a recipe for disaster. So these people all did the best they could with what they had. It just unfortunately wasn't great. Oh no, but the effects are like the one thing his movies lean on. They really are, buddy, particularly this one. Oh, I've got stills. Okay. Oh my goodness! Ari, welcome. Thank you so much for the raid. Hello. Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Noodle says hello as well.
Listen.
Yeah, everybody, if you are not already, please go follow Ari Vidjagame. She is wonderful. You still playing some of that Alien Isolation? I hear you're calling the alien Deborah. I hear we've influenced you. Hello, Nolan S. And Crocopete. I hope that's right. Hi, B. Welcome. Hey, everyone. I hope you had a wonderful stream. Thank you so much for the raid. Hi, Anne. We had a blast watching her play Isolation. That's great. Deborah has many things she wants to say. Deborah, yes, pointed, sharp things. Yes. Hi, Schizo Clarity. Welcome. Well, yeah, welcome on in, everybody. If you don't know me already, my name is Bethany, aka Brightboom. And I'm a variety streamer here on Twitch. I do lots of different stuff. I do scary games on Fridays. I have played through Alien Isolation. It was a blast. Today we're doing a brand spanking new segment. Me and my best friend and moderator, Nordle Dordle, down here.
Hello. I've said hello twice. I have a lot to say.
You have several things to say. It's when we get to the meat and bones of it, you'll have a lot of opinions, I know. So we're doing a segment I like to call Spoiler Alert. It's bad. And we're talking about Moonfall, because it's bad. So welcome on in. Are you saying that Roland Emmerich is bad or that this is a bad movie? I missed the beginning. I'm saying that it's a bad movie. I'm also saying that maybe he shouldn't have had full creative control over this movie. Sometimes having other people give you opinions is a good thing. Hi, Deb. Welcome. Yes. Also, by the way, Ari, if you have to do after stream things, that's totally okay. You take a break, you do what you gotta do. Get some food, water, etc. He has a style? He does have a style. You are correct. All right, so I'm gonna give y'all the synopsis of this movie, okay? And if I miss anything, Noodle, please feel free to jump in. So here's here's what happens. So in 2011, 3 astronauts. You know what? I'm gonna pull up the cast list here so y'all know what I'm talking about. Hold on. Here you go. Okay, so these are the people in the movie. Patrick, I'm gonna be referring to them by their actor and actress names because I can't remember the character names because I don't give a shit about these characters. So we're starting out in 2011, 3 astronauts, Patrick Wilson here, Halle Berry, and then a third man who does not matter because he dies immediately.
Text too tiny. Text need bigger.
Okay,
Small
right.
eyes.
That better? I'm gonna say that's better.
Okay. Good enough.
Yes, yeah, go do your kitty rescue chores. Okay, so she did used to do, well, some of the stuff she used to do was better. I don't know, we're all gonna just ignore Catwoman. So, in 2011, 3 astronauts, Patrick Wilson, Halle Berry, and a third guy who doesn't matter, are repairing a satellite when a mysterious black swarm...
Listen.
Oh my goodness. Okay, yes, thank you for the shout out. Catwoman did not exist. Anyway, excuse me, I'm gonna get through this. A mysterious black swarm attacks them and burrows into the moon. Wilson is the only one who saw what happened, but NASA calls him crazy and fires him. 10 years later, because of this, he's divorced, his kid is, angry, etc. And there's a conspiracy theorist, John Bradley, who discovers that the moon is out of orbit. And he goes public with his findings on social media, and the whole fucking world just starts rioting. Full stop. This kid is a punk. So NASA, who also figured out that the moon was out of orbit around the same time, launches a mission to figure out what's going on, but every single astronaut on that mission dies. And there's like maybe a tiny bit of emotional reaction to it, but not a whole lot. Everybody stops caring about it pretty quickly. So as the moon's orbit continues to deteriorate, it gets closer to Earth and starts causing the actual disasters. So there's fucking tsunamis, there's gravitational abnormalities, there's atmospheric dissipation, all sorts of weird stuff. Halle Berry then learns from Donald Sutherland, who, like I said, is in this movie for straight up less than 5 minutes. She learns from, he's literally only there to deliver exposition. That's it. And he's like, oh, NASA covered up that we found out during Apollo 11 that the moon was hollow. Also, we created a program to build an EMP to kill that swarm thing that we definitely knew existed but covered it up. But the program to create this EMP to save the world was abandoned for budgetary reasons. Because government.
We saw Don't Look Up. It's not out of the realm of possibility.
What was it that you said, that this was like trying to be a serious version of Don't Look Up?
It had the same energy, especially when everybody just started rioting. Like, I almost expected it to turn into comedy.
Oh, it would have been so much better. That budget part sounds 100% believable. I guess, yeah. That's the most sensible part of the whole movie. They do call the moon a Dyson sphere. I don't know what a Dyson sphere is, but I'll believe you that that's not what it is.
It's you harness the power of a star in order to power your civilization and shit. It's
so...
I want to say that's what a Type 2 civilization does, but maybe somebody smarter than me can...
I have a Dyson vacuum. Me too. Oh my god. Okay, so... she finds out that the program was abandoned. So, Halle Berry, Patrick Wilson...
We're having soft tacos later.
Thank you so much for the follow. And this Bradley guy, this conspiracy theorist, they decide to revive the program, and they go and head to the moon with the EMP. They head over there. And they discover that this swarm thing is siphoning off energy generated by a white dwarf at the center of the moon. And so because it's siphoning off this power source, the artificial megastructure that is the moon, its orbit is destabilizing. So Patrick Wilson's character gets like basically brain fucked by the artificial intelligence inside of the moon, telling him that, and this is the fucking wildest part, y'all, the moon is an artificial megastructure constructed by the ancestors of humanity who, billions of years in the past, built it as an ark to repopulate humanity, which was being hunted to extinction by a rogue artificial intelligence that grew too strong. The swarm thing that's siphoning off this power that's been killing astronauts is one of those AIs. And it responds to electronic activity in the presence of organic life, which is why it killed the astronauts, because there was life and there was technology. Yeah, this is a lot. It's a lot. So, while they're doing all of this stuff and finding out all of these ridiculous fucking things in the middle of the moon, Patrick Wilson's son, who's an idiot now because childhood trauma, and Halle Berry's son, who I don't really know why he's in this movie. He just exists to be like, oh no, this child is in trouble, kind of a thing. As well as Halle Berry's nanny. Again, don't know why she exists in this movie. Are all trying to reach a military bunker in Colorado where everyone thinks they're gonna be safe from all of this moon stuff. And they're just running away from disaster after disaster, like the tsunamis and then the gravitational shit. Like they're doing it. They end up running into Patrick Wilson's ex-wife and her new husband, which is Michael Pena, and his kids. And Michael Pena sacrifices himself for literally no reason. Halle Berry's ex-husband also sacrifices himself for literally no reason. Also, meanwhile, the government is trying to nuke the moon because that's the solution to everything in every fucking disaster movie ever is let's nuke the moon or whatever the problem is. So back on the moon, Bradley, the conspiracy theorist guy, sacrifices himself and uses the EMP to destroy the swarm, allowing Patrick Wilson and Halle Berry to escape. Because the power is not being siphoned from this white dwarf anymore, the moon just almost immediately returns to its regular orbit, and all the disasters are like done. Just done. Everyone who's still alive reunites, and then somehow the weirdest part of this is that just before the movie ends, the operating system on the moon, the other AI that's not evil, reveals that it stored a copy of the conspiracy theorist's consciousness and cryptically tells him, "You're part of the moon now. We need to get to work." Setting this bitch up for a sequel for no reason. Did I miss anything, Noodle?
No, I that covers it. Again, I think you putting the effort in to make that summary and every note that you took was more effort than went into the script, period.
Thank y'all. I did swipe some of it from Wikipedia.
I have never just sat around and quoted Wikipedia on your stream for any reason.
No, not at all. The next movie be called Moonfall, The Moon Rises. I hope so. The mooning. Yes. Okay. So.
Bitcoin startup. Oh my god, it's Safe Moon. But it's Danger Moon.
Danger Moon. The Moon and I. Skyfall.
That's good.
Yes. That's very good. Okay, so let's talk about this movie. I took a lot of notes.
You did.
I didn't get any of that out of the trailer. It's like they tried cramming a trilogy into one film. They really did, because they were like, okay, you know about the hollow moon theory? Well, what if it fell to the earth? And also, it's a megastructure.
Yeah, the only reason, one, because I like disaster movies, and two, so I actually have a weird fear of the moon.
Yes.
So that is why this trailer was attractive to me. It looked like a shit-ass movie, but not enough people make movies about the moon just running into the earth, and I think they should, because it is right.
Electric Moonaloo. Moonfall 4, fuck the sun.
Imperfect Pixels, thank you, Bethany. I have suggested that movie before, but Melancholia is fucking phenomenal.
Okay, good to know.
If you want an awesome version, and it's got, I mean, it's more a lot about allegory for depression and stuff, but there is, you know how this movie was lacking tension?
Yes.
Yeah. Melancholia is tension all the way through, and it is incredible.
All right. I will keep that in mind. That'll be a good movie to watch. Okay, so I'm just gonna go through these notes. I have a lot. The first thing is like how many disaster movies have we seen where the main characters are divorced?
Yes. Well, with Roland Emmerich, it might be all of them.
I mean, because that was the case. That was the case in 2012. That was the case in San Andreas. Like the number of, and I was honestly genuinely expecting the main character Patrick Wilson and his wife ex-wife to get back together at the end, because that's usually what happens.
Yeah, no, that's again. There's no, what was it like the first third of the movie? There's no, even for his stuff, there's no tension. There's none of the usual, like the setup is there, but the pieces are moved around wrong.
Yeah, so that's one of the big complaints we had about this movie is like the pacing and the tension are fucking all over the place. You don't ever get any character development because everything happens so fast. It's like every scene that's not exposition is just shoved in without any thought for how it's going to affect anything down the line. Like, everything happens so fast. There are scenes that are supposed to be character development. Like, for example, when the kids are all driving away from this, like, massive fucking wave, they're in the car later. You don't ever actually see how they got away from the wave. You just hear about it from the kid. And, like, they have, like, what's supposed to be a bonding moment because they both have tattoos that are Chinese letters. But it's not a bonding moment. It's just like, oh, what does your tattoo say? Oh, here's mine. And then she makes fun of him because she says it says Jonas Brothers because she speaks Chinese. But it doesn't, and that's it. That's the end of the moment. Like, those two characters never have another moment. I thought they were going to try to force them together in a romance subplot, but they don't ever have another moment.
No,
that's it.
That's what I thought too. Literally, I don't even know any of their names. I don't remember any of the characters' names. Nor do I.
No. It just, like, there's so many moments that could be set up. Like, this kid, Patrick Wilson's son in the movie, is, like, going through childhood trauma because his dad was disgraced and he thinks his dad is a liar. So, like, he gets arrested at the beginning of the movie, but there's no attempt to, like, go and rescue him and have that moment where you're, like, reconciling.
They were literally, like, trapping him in a place where he would have been in trouble if they hadn't gotten him out.
Yeah, which is, like, textbook. That's what they did in San Andreas. Like, yes. Alexandra Daddario's character gets stuck in a parking garage, and, like, yes, she does get out, but the whole movie is The Rock trying to rescue her. This was, like, 15 minutes later, this kid gets rescued from jail by a bunch of, like, government people because they want Patrick Wilson to help them. That's it. That plot line is done. Fully done.
And that happened a lot with, like, his mother, guy of Game of Thrones. What the fuck is that character's name?
John Bradley?
John Bradley, yes. Okay, his mother, like, they just got rescued by the SWAT guys. Like, they were just a plot device. Like,
yeah,
to just pull people out with zero tension whatsoever.
Yes.
The other thing is the very first part of the movie, all the characters, again, the very beginning, the astronaut, like, saves everybody at the beginning, and that's a thing he does. He does nothing else for the next third of the movie. Everything happens to and around him, and he gets all of his information by looking at the fucking news. How many times did we get information from a broadcast?
Literally every single bit of exposition that isn't delivered by someone from NASA is delivered via news, some sort of news. At one point, a character gets exposition from a newspaper that his cat pissed on.
Oh, that's right.
It's so dumb. Everyone is just casually, passively watching the news. You know how, like, people do. It's fucking bonkers. I don't understand it.
Our comic relief character, fuck, what's his name?
I just
told you. The guy. Tell me again. John Bradley.
Yes.
Anyway, yeah, he's the comic relief, so he's the one who finds out everything via a cat pissing on paper. But it's...
By the way...
There must have been 8 to 10 instances where they got stuff from a news broadcast. Maybe even more.
I think it was more.
It probably was more, and I don't know if that was to get around them not having to have sets because they had so many issues or something, maybe?
I think, yeah, they just didn't... They were tired of literally telling and not showing, and so they decided to tell and not show in a different way.
And on top of that, they have the problem where, like with Don't Look Up, all the scientists all of a sudden discover something's wrong and the moon's out of orbit. And in that Don't Look Up, you've got this whole thing where there's kind of this long running bit where everything just gets a little bit worse and a little bit worse and more tension gets built. In this movie, what, like 5-10 minutes passes and all of a sudden the moon is enormous and everything's just happened.
Yeah, they just skip forward like 3 fucking days and suddenly the moon is like there and causing fucking problems. You don't get any warning that this is what's happened. It's just suddenly disasters are happening, but no tension was built up to that point. You're just like, oh fuck, there's disasters. And the people who die, you don't give a shit about because you never have any character development with them. So why are you supposed to care about these people?
This is the same guy who did Independence Day, where you get that big mothership kind of just slowly coming down, and everybody's standing on the roof of the building, and they're so excited to meet the fucking aliens, and there's just this nice moment, and, like, how is that the same person?
I don't know. I have to assume that somebody in the studio gave him some sort of idea or notes or something. I don't understand.
People have to sit at a table and think this would sell. Again, is it just because he didn't get notes?
He had full creative control, and this is what happened. So, I want to go through some of my favorite quotes.
Oh boy.
And then, yes, Schizo, we will be getting to the CGI. Is bad. So, more cat bits. So here are 4 of my favorite quotes. I've already said one of them, which is "You're part of the moon now." That's just wonderful. Hey, friends, welcome. So one of the first quotes in the movie, coming from our conspiracy theorist guy, looking at a poster of a SpaceX penis rocket, he goes, "What would Elon do?"
Completely ironically.
Yeah, super unironically. One of the things that Donald Sutherland says that I fucking hate, it's so overdone in sci-fi movies, is he goes, "Their technology is light years ahead of us." And it's a measure of distance. It doesn't make sense. And then the other completely super overdone disaster movie, or like anything where there's like a time limit or like a stupid plan, somebody always says, "But what if it doesn't work?" And the other person goes, "It has to." Okay, that's not, you didn't answer my question. What if it doesn't work? Do we have a plan B? Like, Jesus fuck. Oh my God, they're parsecs ahead of us, exactly. So, did you have any other quotes that you wanted to talk about?
Oh, I can't remember shit.
That's fair. All right, let's get into the CGI, because this shit is fucking wild. Quick, before there's still time.
Oh wait, no, I thought of a quote, but it was written.
Okay, what you got?
They are a PG-13 movie, so they used their one fuck to write "fuck the moon" on the space shuttle.
Yes, I forgot about that. Thank you for reminding me. Yeah, so the whole thing with like the swarm being attracted to humans that are inside of technology, they had to get an old spaceship and use that instead, because it didn't have, like, they could fly it without technology. I don't know. There's a whole fucking explanation that doesn't make sense. But yes, they do. It does say "fuck the moon" on the side. And you see it a couple of times until it breaks off. We should get shirts that say "fuck the moon." Yes, that was something I was going to mention, Sheep. One of the only good things about this movie is that John Bradley's cat's name is Fuzz Aldrin, and you don't find that out until the very end. I was delayed by my cat falling asleep on me after work. As you know, it would have been illegal for me to move her. That's okay, we fully understand. So yes, oh my God, yeah, fuck the moon. So let's talk about the CG. I'm gonna show y'all. Let's start with this. So the CG is really hit or miss. It's pretty clear that they just didn't have a whole lot of time to do this. Because, like, I don't know if you can see these little people here. I'm gonna circle with my mouse. These little guys, they're everything in this shot is CG. Nothing is real. And they are just not, they don't move right. This looks like a scene from a video game. Like, it's not great. And most
grading is fucked too. I think that's like that weird gray blue fucking filter is weird.
Yeah, in this movie you get 2 filters on the CG. You get the gray blue filter, and you get the like orange filter when the moon, like towards the end of the movie, when the moon starts getting like real crazy. PS1, yeah, exactly. So that's the kind of CG we're getting here. Very clearly very rushed. There's also some really bad green screen, like they were rushed. They couldn't do location shooting, so they had to do green screen. And here we have Halle Berry explaining a broken engine to Patrick Wilson, And it's just not, she's not there. You can tell she's not there. Like, the lighting doesn't match up.
You can damn near see the edge lighting around her.
Yeah. It's not good.
That really, I stand by it. It looks like a Zoom meeting.
It does. It looks like a Zoom meeting. Tell me about the quarterly reports, Hallie. Kind of looks like a senior CGI artist's final project who knows he's gonna fail and said fuck it.
Oh, Prince Phelan. It was very recent.
This came out like a month ago. I'd be in tears, right? We kept seeing these shots and we were just like, why is this so bad? And it wasn't until I looked into the production and like how COVID fucked it that I was like, okay, this makes a lot more sense. So next we have something we kept running into. Anna-Marie and I Noodle and I kept not understanding why some of these shots looked so off. And I'll go over to this one here. This is like the shot after the shot I've just shown you. So the green screen is still fucking terrible, but the depth of field is really weird. It wasn't it took us until I think this point in the movie, and this is like an hour in, to realize that the way that they whatever lens they used to shoot these shots made it like they were trying to make it look like it wasn't a set, but it fully loops backwards the other way, and you can't stop realizing that it's a full set. Like, it's uncomfortable. Who let this movie get released? Yeah, there was so much that went wrong in the development of this that they really should have just waited. But he wanted to get it done because he had the rights back. So yeah, this just, there are a lot of these shots that look like this that are very clearly a set, and they just tried to do something to it, but the depth of field is off and it just looks wrong. Something that I thought was super annoying is all of the establishing wide shots, all of the atmospheric shots of what's happening with the moon just are blurry. Look at this. This is where we've got the orange moon. This is later, 30 minutes later in the movie, and you've got the big old orange moon, but everything's just blurry. Every single establishing shot is like this. You can't. It's like they didn't have time to do well on the CG, so they were like, fuck it, just put a Gaussian blur on it. No one will know.
Yeah, I used to use that trick when I was in fucking high school when I wanted to hide that I couldn't draw a background.
Exactly. The exhaust nozzles are either way too small or the perspective depth is horrible. Yeah, exactly.
I used to have a little toy space shuttle, and it does look just like that.
Majora's ass.
Oh my god, that's great.
Yeah. So this is ridiculous.
Do you have any shots of when it New York gets fucked up by the tidal wave or whatever?
I don't. I didn't get to those in time. Those ones were pretty okay.
They were. Those were good, and I think especially the beginning when they were kind of aping the movie Gravity, I think those initial shots looked pretty good. Yeah, yes. Excuse me. Some of the CG is pretty great, but a lot of it is just not. Everything was horrible. Yeah, and one of my favorite things is before we realized that they had made 135 different sets instead of location shooting, we saw this scene, which looks like a fucking, they broke into a Christmas set for where you meet Santa, and you've just got these fake fucking trees and this fake fucking snow, and everyone's like, oh, it's so cold out here, It just looks awful. They all have gas masks on because the atmosphere is dissipating. But don't worry, it'll be back in 5 minutes after Michael Pena has needlessly sacrificed himself. Because, when your oxygen leaves, it comes back real quick. And also, he sacrificed himself, but they didn't give us a frame of reference for time. He's trying to, he's telling his daughter to go ahead. He gives her his oxygen tank, and he's like, I'll be right behind you. And she's a little kid. There's no way she walked that far. He was probably like 5 steps away from where he needed to go, and he just decided to give her his tank and kill himself instead of sharing with her.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. That whole scene is ridiculous. There's no logic in the like actual disaster stuff that happens. Like the tsunamis happen, but then everybody's okay. And the fucking gravity shit happens, but everybody's okay. And then the atmospheric dissipation was probably the worst part, because they're saying that like because the moon is so close, it's taking part of Earth's atmosphere away. Which, fine, I can maybe believe that. But then literally like 5 minutes after this guy sacrifices himself, they take their fucking masks off and they're like, oh, everything's fine, it's back. The moon's on the other side of the planet now.
Yeah, because the atmosphere just being sucked away from the Earth wouldn't, you know, it would just come back for some fucking reason.
I don't understand it. It doesn't make sense. So that's our CG.
Wait, I have one more. I have one more on the CG.
What do you got?
Okay, so going back to New York, because Roland Emmerich hates New York and wants to kill it in all of his movies.
True.
There's a scene where the tidal wave is going over New York and it's hitting all the buildings, and I'm waiting for it to knock over the new World Trade Center. I'm wondering if he would actually do that, all things considered. And all these buildings fall over, and you notice that one never really does.
Nope, he leaves it up.
And he leaves it up because he knew he couldn't knock it over. Yeah. So he fucked up the Chrysler Building instead.
You gotta. I would love to see some astrophysicist or scientist or astronauts watch this movie. Their brains would literally explode. Yeah.
I mean, NASA obviously gave some sort of something to help them out, I'm sure, just like the military does. But...
yeah.
God, I hope they didn't see the final product.
I'm gonna go back to this moon shot because I think it's hilarious. There's a building in place of it. Yeah, sheep.
It's like one big tall building in place of it.
I'm an amateur scientist, and this is making me want to drink an entire liter of Kraken rum. That's fair. So let's talk about the advertisements.
Oh my god. It's blatant. It's not like subtle or kind of like, oh, they're in the background. No. Up your ass, in your face.
Yeah. So the first one we noticed is when the news is breaking that like some really bad shit is gonna happen if the moon gets off its orbit. Like it's gonna, if people nuke it, it's gonna go into a bunch of different pieces and it's gonna kill everybody on Earth, basically. Michael Peña's character is watching the TV with his 2 daughters, and he doesn't want them to see it because it's obviously affecting them emotionally. So he gets up in front of the TV and he goes, "Okay, Google, turn off the TV." Like, he doesn't have a remote. He's gotta yell at Google. Did you guys ever see the movie about the second Earth? What? No. There was another ad that I noticed it was on a billboard, but I didn't know what it was until Noodle mentioned Kaspersky. Which, what is that, Noodle?
It's, I think it's just kind of security. I know it is an antivirus, but I'm sure they do a bunch of other security shit too. But, I mean, they're not a bad, at least they didn't used to be a bad antivirus. I don't know how they stand now, but...
I'm sure they're fine, but there's literally a billboard next to a building. There's an establishing shot where someone CGI'd a fucking billboard, and it just says Kaspersky.
Like
no
bright,
other
like,
identifying information.
They also have it on like the space shuttle. Like for some reason, there's a Kaspersky program running on like the space shuttle's fucking internal computer.
Yeah, I forgot about that. As we have mentioned already, SpaceX gets multiple references. There's the "What would Elon do?" There's the like poster of the SpaceX shuttle. When they're talking about ways to go to the moon and fix this problem, they talk about SpaceX giving them like a shuttle or something. I don't remember. It doesn't fucking matter. So Elon probably chipped in some money. And then of course, Michael Peña's character works at a Lexus dealership. So there's that scene where he's at work, and then any other scene where he's driving a car, he's driving a fucking Lexus. Oh my
that
god.
That Lexus did work. Sure made me want one.
It did, yeah. It's the one in this picture here, where they're in this fucking Christmas card. That's a Lexus.
That part in 2012 when like the car's like, isn't it driving away from like the world falling out from underneath it and there's like a volcano? It was the airplane part.
Yeah.
And, like the world's, it was that, but in a Lexus.
Yep. Basically, yeah, because they do like ramp in the Lexus at one point. Because the world is falling away. But the gravity is weird, so it's okay, it works. Kaspersky was flagged recently. Okay. Imperfect said, article title from a couple weeks ago, US warned firms about Russia's Kaspersky software day after invasion. Oh no!
Fucking rip.
That's amazing.
Oh no. Well, you know what? It was good once.
One time.
At one time.
Yeah. I'd like to talk about the typical white men in this movie. Here are some things. Several of the white men in this movie. Here are some things that white men do in this movie. Fixing a car while drinking beer.
Oh yes! They had to make him look tough.
Literally fucking quitting your job as head of NASA when you find out that the moon is falling to Earth.
He literally just bails and hands her his fucking card and he's like, I'm out.
Just gives Halle Berry his badge and he's like, it's your problem now. Covering up important information and then abandoning a life-saving project because of budget problems. And my absolute favorite, trying to nuke the problem. Literally, at no other point were any other solutions discussed. It was just, well, we better nuke it.
It seemed so cliche, I couldn't, when she brought up, oh, you're just gonna nuke it, I'm like, oh, that's just a joke. That's not actually what they're gonna do.
Nope. Even though there's a point at like 20 minutes into the movie when NASA realizes that the moon's out of orbit and they're running simulations on what it's gonna look like, first of all, if the moon gets there and if it's nuked, and literally they say if it breaks up into smaller chunks, it's still gonna kill everybody on Earth. And the government's still like, well, small chunks, it's better, right? Well, we got all these nukes and people get real mad when we use them on people, so... yeah. I have a couple more notes and then I will give the floor to you on anything else that you've got here. So I would like to talk about the just absolutely idiotic logic in this movie. There's a lot more than what I've written here, because there was, like, I swear to God, the last 30 minutes of the movie, you and I were pointing out so many fucking things, and I just had to be like, the moon, no! We've already talked a little bit about this, the fact that the atmosphere dissipates and then comes back fucking immediately, which is just, no. I don't even know if it's plausible, but no. There's also, when they get into the moon and they see the white dwarf, they just stare at it. They just stare at it for a while. And I've never seen a white dwarf, but I feel like that would burn your eyeballs out.
There's no star that I think you can stare at safely. I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah. So that happens. And also the fact that, so the whole reason this story even breaks to the public, because NASA's trying to keep it quiet, but the whole reason this story breaks to the public is because the conspiracy theorist, John Bradley, just posts his research to the internet. In what world would everyone instantaneously believe a conspiracy theorist talking about the hollow moon and just be like, well, okay, better go riot? Like, what? Why? Did you have any more insane logic jumps?
No, I think you covered it. And also, there's a lot of issues in this movie where I'm not sure if it's just because I wasn't paying attention or they weren't explained.
Yeah, there's just a lot of shit right at the end, like where they're actually dealing with the moon shit and the fucking earlier civilization, whatever. Like, it just I swear to God, every 5 seconds we were turning to each other and being like, what is this?
Yeah, there was something I was bitching about, and I can't remember now.
I don't know. All of it was fucking bonkers. Only if it's a rich blonde influencer lady and she posted on Facebook, then we riot. Yes, that seems legit. So yeah, there were some okay things about the movie. Like, some of the CG is pretty good. There's a scene, I think, Noodle, you had mentioned this one, where like they're about to launch the space shuttle and the moon kind of comes up over the horizon, and now this is the first time they're experiencing the gravitational shifts, and so all this water is like going up in spouts towards the moon, and the camera kind of goes through it. That looks really neat. It's literally 10 seconds, but it looks pretty neat.
Yeah, like, it's definitely a shot made for the trailer, but a shot like that where it can be fantastical and they can kind of play around with it, they do, and it's cool. I also liked when the guy was running toward the helicopter and he started doing kind of a moon bounce.
Yes, that was pretty nifty, although they did immediately die because their helicopter hit the wave.
They did, and also, so they had that cool shot where he's doing the moon bounce, but I don't think at any other time when the moon was kind of coming by and chasing our protagonists, I don't recall any of them having that kind of, like, they weren't bouncing.
No, they weren't. The gravity fucked up other shit around them, like that survivors camp that they went to. All of the like cars and shit went up into the air, but they were fine because they were in a building.
That's right. Okay. So they go into the moon's coming by because it's mad and it's gonna get them, and it's coming and it's like sucking a bunch of shit up. And so they go inside a house because it's obviously like a tornado. Gravity can't get you when you're indoors.
It's true.
For lack of gravity, yeah.
Yeah, that happens, and then when they jump the car over the gap, that's like a gravity situation. But at that point, the car should have rocketed up to the moon because that's where we were at.
It was so close. Also, the logic of the scavenger people. They're chasing these guys, and they want to shoot him because they're just all pissed off at him. And so there's this car chase while the moon's coming by, and the scavengers are only interested in shooting these dudes, but there's the fucking moon coming, and it's sucking everything up. Like, at some point, where's your self-preservation? Why are you driving around worrying about shooting people?
I agree. I think the very thinly veiled reason that they're chasing after them is because they have the oxygen tanks. The main characters stole oxygen tanks from a fire station because they knew the atmospheric dissipation was about to happen and they were about to lose oxygen.
Okay.
And they get jumped by these idiotic scavengers who have jumped them already once before and taken their car. And so the scavengers, I'm assuming, are chasing after them because they have the oxygen tanks and they know that's how they're going to survive. But at a certain point, you're right. The fucking moon is coming. Who gives a shit? These people are shooting at you. Stop chasing them.
That is fair, you're right. Okay, I didn't realize they were that motivated. I thought they were chasing him just because they were pissed off.
But I mean, they were. That was 3/4 of it, but the other quarter of it was they have the oxygen. Instead of trying to find oxygen somewhere else, or like go to another fucking fire station, there's gotta be more.
Or just go inside a building because,
apparently that saves you from everything.
It's just like the tornado in Twister. It can't get you if you're indoors.
Yeah, basically firing bullets at the people who have oxygen tanks. Really good idea. Oh, I'm out of stuff. Do you have anything else?
No, but I genuinely, I mean, you know, maybe find a way to not watch it that spends a lot of your money, but if you do at some point, I don't know. It's one of those bad movies that I think is bad enough that it's kind of fun and not bad in a boring way.
Yeah, so it was entertaining.
So I think it's good enough to watch if you like a bad movie that keeps you entertained and not bad in like the Avatar Airbender way where it's boring and bad.
Yeah, I would recommend getting drunk. Don't be sober for this movie.
No, absolutely drink. And also, yes, honest to God, I am a little hungry, so I might actually angrily eat a salad.
Do it. Yeah, live your best life.
I will, right in front of my salad.
Oh, God. Well, do you have any parting remarks, my lady?
No, 10 out of 10. Fucking watch it.
There you have it. 10 out of 10. Watch the terrible movie about the hollow moon falling to Earth.
Oh, and if you want more Roland Emmerich goodness, I don't know if they're ever going to put it out, but MST3K did a really good riff of one of his first movies in the 80s, and I believe it is called Joey? It's got another name, too. Making Contact.
Yeah.
If you can find a way to watch that, especially the riff of it, it will blow your mind. I don't know how that same person made Independence Day, because it is so bad. Honestly,
I haven't
Roland
seen
Emmerich
it, but I
must have
trust
had
you.
people to help him at some point.
Yeah. Well, that's what happens.
Anyway, go watch that too. It's also so bad it's good.
Yeah, we can talk. Do you want to talk about the Ren Fair?
It was hot.
It was very hot. Noodle's husband, Mr. Wonder, got lost for 30 minutes. Getting us ice cream.
Yep.
It was, okay, so I did find out from my roommate, who's a Ren Fair expert, that that day was a record day. Like, there were a lot more people than normal there.
I was wondering.
Yeah. So it took us an hour and a half to get into the parking lot. That's how long the line of cars was.
Yes.
But once we did get there, we did have fun. It was very hot. And next time I think I will wear bike shorts because there was some chafing.
Yes, very warm bike shorts. But just to prove how many people were there, we ran into 2 different groups of people we knew that we did not know were going. And then there was even a third group that we found out about later.
Everybody was there on Saturday, all of our friends. And none of us knew any of us were going to be there. It was wild. But it was a lot of fun. Noodle got some really kick-ass boots, like knee-high boots.
I look so tough.
Yeah. We can, if you're comfortable with it, we can post the selfie on the Discord.
Sure.
So we'll do that. And then I got a leather-like pouch to hold my stuff in, since my costume doesn't have pockets.
It's very cute and it smells really good. I love leather smell.
It smells like leather, yeah. I didn't find a corset, but that's okay.
No, the pouch is adorable.
Yeah. Yeah, Strix, we went to Sherwood.
Is that the McDade one? Is that the
Yeah, we were in McDade, Texas. But yeah, next the last weekend of that one is this coming weekend, so we'll have to go again next year.
Strix, you're going next weekend?
Oh, nice! That'll be fun. I hope you have a good time. Check out Strix. Strix, check out the Falconer show. They have an owl. They have a barn owl.
The owl. There is an owl.
Mr. Wonder got a good picture of it. We'll throw it in the Discord so you can see.
What was the owl's name?
I don't remember. It was Widget. It was Widget.
Widget. It was a barn owl?
Cute. Yeah, it was a barn owl. It was cute. I think Moonfall. I think it's out to rent. I believe so.
WTPG, what is your question?
Yeah, barn owl.
I don't know. I took animation classes, but then I realized animators were of a different breed. They're crazy. And I was not strong enough in spirit to be an animator. So I feel like, obviously, I can do some animation, but I feel like, I don't know. I don't know if I can give good advice. I'd probably give you a really bad workflow. But if you have a question, I am all about it, and I will do my best. I would just say definitely check me with it. Check against a real animator and see what they say. Simple shapes. That's what I'm gonna say. Keep everything broken down to simple shapes. I think every single character or animation you make, even if it's kind of realistically proportioned, I like to think of every character in terms of a shape. Like I will associate a character with just a triangle or an octagon or something, and then I kind of use that language to inform the rest of them, whether that's repeated in their outfit or their gesture. I don't know if that makes any sense, but that's kind of how I keep things in perspective. Yeah, simplify. Always simplify with animation as much as possible. You will love yourself later if you do it.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. Where is it? Here it is. All right, I'm posting your boots to the Discord.
Yes, Sheep. Exactly. Also, for any probably comic book artist, I'm gonna say that's probably the same. The output that those people do is insane to me.
Okay. You'll have to get the owl picture from Jeremy.
Oh, you got it?
I don't have the owl picture. I have the boots picture. So the boots, Noodle's boots are up on the Discord in the Selfies and Pics channel if y'all want to see them.
Thank you, Boo Bear.
You won. You're wonderful. I was trying to say you're welcome and it came out you're wonderful. I'm sorry.
Ooh, fuck you too.
Thanks. Oh my god. Okay. Well, we did it. We did an hour. I'm proud of us. Hour of talking about that dumpster fire of a movie.
It was fun though.
I had a good time, both watching it and doing this with you. Thank you for joining me. Everybody say thank you so much to the lovely Noodle. And yeah, I'll switch back over and we'll get started on some Tiny Tina's probably after a bathroom break or something. But Noodle will still be here in chat if y'all have any questions, if y'all want to talk. Noodle's always hanging out.